This is Captainoob, and this is a Bloodied bow with 50% more VATS critical damage and 25% less VATS action point cost per shot, major and minor legendary effects respectively. And whether we'll actually get much use out of the secondary and tertiary legendary effects is up to whether this thing actually wants to hit in VATS, because I've heard this thing is very inconsistent. Again, shout out to your arch enemy. He was able to hook me up with this thing, so let's see how we go. And let's hopefully not pride ourselves for disappointment here, because we all know that the bows are very slow, but if this thing can kill everything in one shot, we might actually get some semblance of speed out of this, especially if we can kill them without having to draw the bow all the way back, which is a very time-consuming process. And if all goes well, this thing might even get a little queen test. We've got the ultrasight arrows, which is like the prime receiver for this, and I wanted to have the best damage per shot, but I didn't want to have any of the energy damage things stacked onto it, or the explosive one, because they're inconsistent. This is a lot easier just to hit stuff with, and you'll get all of that damage guaranteed. The splash damage that you get from the explosive arrows aren't actually that good anyway, to be honest. So we're going with the prime receiver here. Glow sights increase this thing's range, and I've got a Flatwoods Fletcher style. That's the skin on this thing. Interestingly, I've got 3 skins for this thing, and I've never used these things ever. So it's weird of Bethesda to sell all of these skins for a bow when nobody actually wants to use these things, because they're just not that good. Unless you're going for a stupid roleplay, but, you know, we're going for combat effectiveness here, and, you know, roleplay is for people who want to do that and don't want to speedrun Queen or Earl kills. Anyway, so we've got the Master Archer perk, the regular old Archer, and then the other Archer. Plenty of Archer going on. You could make a comedy TV show about it, set when everyone's a spy or something. That was a good show. I remember watching that back in the day. And you can do the old covert operative trick to make this thing have the 3.75 times sneak attack multipliers, because as far as this game is concerned, it's got a suppressor. So with all of those perks added, we get to 206 damage, and if we chuck Nerd Rage on it, we can get something a little bit higher. With Nerd Rage applied, we get ourselves 639 damage. It's got 69 in it, lol. Okay, so here we are outside of the KFC Zinger Box factory, and it looks like it's been taken over by some very hungry green men. And we're burning moonlight here, so I'm going to make this as quick as I can. And it appears that, to fire this thing faster, I might have to do some things. And, oh man, using this thing in third person it just makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. If I use this thing in third person to make it quicker. Look, my experience with bows in this game is, you know, not a lot, and it's the regular legendary bows that non-legendary bows that are pretty much a write-off, because you can do better with a lot of other weapons. But the high damage we're getting out of this is, it's promising, right? And 3,000 damage, complete overkill on these random doggos, but we're making use out of this. Haven't been shot yet, which, you know, to the credit of this thing's stealthiness, so that's good. Should probably use VATS here. That's 95%. Yes, success. We might want to go for the guaranteed torso shots here. We've got a bunch of perception from our unyielding stuff, which I won't show off because maybe that's for another time, but we've got that adrenaline damage and for hitting for a decent number, so we'll keep on hitting those 95 torso shots and shooting the criticals every now and then. But if we keep missing, we'll just have to rely on our own crappy aim to do it. And man, all of the animations with this weapon look very awkward. It's 95 from back here, so a better bloody hit. We got cocked blocked by that other super mutant there, as you can tell. He walked in front, so that obscured a vision of our target, and that said, nah bro. You can get away with a bullet weapon doing that, because you pull the trigger and you've got a hit scan projectile, you know, as soon as you pull the trigger. But this is a little bit different. You got to charge up that arrow and then let it go, and it's got that travel time too. So leading range targets will present problems if you're not used to the drop of the projectile, or just have a poor aim in general, which, you know, applies for me. Both of those things apply to me. So let's go inside and see if we can keep this one going. We've got a good streak so far. The most disappointing things about bows in this game is that Fallout 4 modders have already made a bow that is a lot better to use, and it's just a mod. Obviously, people object to the fact that it's held kind of weird. Like when you aim down slats, like what's this? That's kind of weird. If you are hip firing though, it looks a little bit better. You're holding it to like the side there, like in Skyrim. If you're sneaking, you'll hold it to the side. Oh my god, it's a legendary. And you can put the arrows away just like you could in Skyrim. Just put the weapon away and it'll deprime itself. Nice. Oh, come on. Let it go. And we happen to get a troubleshooter's thing, which I picked up everything in. So, whoops. I mean, oh yeah, you can grab arrows back. That's probably ammo efficient. Make sure you do that, but, you know, I don't want to spend time looting because, honestly, a lot of our time is going to be spent killing stuff. What the hell is even going on? Back into hidden, then I was detected for a second. The doggo realized, nah, bro, that's fine. Don't worry about her. Alright. Well, it's working. You can do a stealth archer build. The problem is, it's just slow. Really, really slow. Sure, you can one-shot these guys, and people will think with the amount of damage we're seeing here that it's the best weapon in the game. Those of us who can, you know, have more of an analytical look at what is going on here, realizing this is slow, and hopefully it won't reflect too much in the video's overall length. I might have to cut a few things here and there or try to make it faster one way or another. But, you know, we're getting the performance needed out of this to kill these guys without much effort, so as far as that goes, that's fine. It's just that it's slow, dull, and boring. Do this for a week, go back to automatic weapons, and you'll feel like you're going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You know, and I really mean that because that's not the unit of measurement I use here in Australia, in Spiderland. It's just, oh god. And getting these arrows around things, sometimes it can get caught up in the hitboxes and stuff, so I wasn't keen on actually firing through that window. Just before, I'm actually wondering whether the bullets or the arrows will go through there at all. I assume that they will, but I'll have to, you know, put it through the middle of the window rather than, you know, off to the one edge. It was a very inappropriate way to kill that doggo. We're done here. Let's go. And all that's kind of the real weakness of the bow. Surely it does a lot of damage to individual targets, but it doesn't do it quick enough to render itself in a good position of being in crowd control. There are some things you can do to augment the bow's abilities, I guess, in terms of crowd control. Let's just use VATS. Screw it. Well, there's one kill there. Let's try that again. Okay, back in, and I've pre-charged this thing. I'll enter VATS, and it hits. We'll just see how we go with VATS. Honestly, we could probably just punch this Radroach. He's not part of the ghoul faction, so he's not going to alert any other of the ghouls. And oh, come on. It just takes so long to draw the arrow. I know my character's at 2 strength, but that's ridiculous. Just reduce the poundage. Hitting for quite hard enough. Just reduce the poundage, make it easier. Like pulling back a rubber band. You could do that. But just look at that. It takes like a few seconds to even get ready to fire. We're not firing the Death Star here, alright? I shouldn't have to charge 10 minutes to make this thing actually work. And yeah, there we go. Nice. There we go. Second time's the charm there. I don't know what caused it to whiff on a 95% chance on the first time, but it is very disappointing all the same. Oh, there it is again. Didn't they have a patch notes thing where they said they fixed this bug? Okay, new tactic. What if we charge the thing first and then let her rip when we've got the lock on? It's just very inconsistent. I feel like, I don't think I've whiffed anything that I've charged first and then let go whilst in VATS. So, although this thing, we're very close to them, so yeah, VATS wouldn't have hit anyway, but since we're so close, the arrow just catches them, because I guess the hitbox on the arrow is very big indeed. If you've fallen asleep at this point, I wouldn't blame you. This isn't exactly the fastest killing I've ever done. That's not helping. There we go. That one goes down. If you miss with this thing, extremely punishing. I didn't actually hit that guy, but his arm came off when I did hit him. And I kind of just released that accidentally. You could probably make an argument that the explosive does make a difference in its crowd control abilities, but I don't think the splash damage is actually significant enough to make much of a difference, because if you're only doing 10% damage with your explosives to whatever enemies you're pointing it at, it's not a whole lot of damage at all. Alright, let's move on. It's kind of got me questioning whether the bow needs to actually exist in this game at all, because in every conceivable role, something's better than it. Like, even the crossbow, which I regarded as a pretty useless weapon when compared to a lot of the firearms, the actual firearms in this game. The bow is like a technological tier down from that if you're playing like some sort of strategy game where you gotta upgrade your tech levels. Well, this is like a few tech levels below your basic, even your muskets, although the eras of ranged weapons is covered pretty well by Fallout 76, which is an observation worth of note. You get everything from to lowly spears, which were like the kind of first weapons that the humans used to just chase around the mammoths and tied them to death, and I guess poked their eyeballs with the spears and then ate the mammoths, and then, you know, evolved on, and it goes all the way up to some sort of plasma weaponry. So yeah, it's a game with variety, but unfortunately, as reflected in what would happen in real life, as technology is going away and, you know, phased out, the old stuff just is not worth using, and it's kind of reflected, but you can still have fun with it, I guess, if you're into this kind of thing. So there was a meme that was going around, I think around when Wastelanders started. Oh, we caught that one on the shelf. That one was a headshot, apparently, but did less damage. Righto. Well, oh, I'm not sneaking, that's why. Let's just try and inject some sneak into this, but yeah, people said, well, Bethesda added archery and, you know, bows into this game so they could make stealth archer builds the best to get an OP. No, they are not. They are not even close to being overpowered. There's a cheeky little critical for ya. Don't forget to pick up that little legendary crab stuff. I wish the glowing legendary stuff that you killed, I wish the corpses glowed, or the meat piles that it leave behind. That's a nice quality of life thing that they could do, just to, you know, make the hunt for legendaries that may have been lost less painful. I'm not sneaking again. That's still over 1k damage without a sneak. Look at the difference between that, though. That's massive. But, you know, these little things like that could make the game slightly better. And I'm sure the community would appreciate that. Wait, hang on a second. Oh, she likes the floater grenades today. And we'll go for the legs. We seem to be hitting around 33 to 3,500, and we're not really breaching more than that, which is interesting. I feel like a lot of individuals will see the base damage of a thing and then rate the weapon on that. And also we're finally getting the extra bonus versus scorched here, so isn't that nice? There we go. Still around that 3,500 thing, but granted we haven't got adrenaline up in full. Where's the other asshole? Gotta be around here somewhere. Come on. Give me that sweet adrenaline. I need to use it for the bats. I'm gonna see if I can kill them in one hit. There you are, mate. Yeah, we're no Hawkeye over here, are we? We like to use... Ooh. Extreme close-up there. That was like an aiming down sights glitch. That's interesting. Anyways, I guess Kobe. That's the word you say for accuracy, but apparently it didn't work here. Oh, by the way, if I find out that anybody's posted a video, like a build guide, using perception perks for bows and calling it OP, I will come to your house and break your legs with a fucking hammer. I'll just belt your kneecaps in. This is not overpowered, alright? Those of you who, you know, rate the damage as merits by its base damage and have no concept of damage per second, you need to stop. Like, just because the dragon does a whole lot of damage per shot does not mean it's going to out-damage anything in the long run here. And unfortunately, these bats are kind of standoffish right now, but if they come a little bit closer, we can kill them Skyrim style. You won't see this amount of damage on Skyrim dragons with bows, though, I'll tell you that much. Unless you use some of those enchanting exploits to just give you a lot more damage. Alright, this one's got to hit him. Yes, there we go. And we might as well use this one. Okay. Alright, crowd control factor, don't fail me now. You can't switch to third person when you've got the thing primed either, so, you know, as in like charged up, the fucking string back. I'm not sure on the correct term of that. It's quite funny that they're throwing their corpses around. Oh, for fuck's sake. Again, like, I could be not doing this and just using hit scan weapons and not giving myself a brain hemorrhage by doing this. You get a crit to the leg. Screw it. Find your torsos one day. There goes another. There we go. Okay, so I'm thinking if I'm doing a Scorched Beast Queen fight with this, right? She's such a large target that you could probably just hit her, even if you do whiff by VAT standards. How am I missing that? There we go. Managed to nip it on the leg as you got out. But yeah, if it's only like a slight miss, because you'll notice the arrows sail slightly past them if you don't hit them, right? Well, if I'm close enough at point blank range, it's not going to miss, so maybe that's the way to go. The trouble is, this thing takes... It's got a deceiving rate of fire. It says it's got a rate of fire of 100, which is kind of like the old Gatling gun back in the day. Oh, of course I hit that, because why wouldn't I, right? Tell you what, if this thing actually worked consistently in VATS, I would almost rate this weapon, but I just can't. It's just no good. And granted, the damage is nice, but the DPS is utter trash. See, there needs to be like a shifting damage per bullet and DPS thing, so I can, you know, show people how much of a fucking idiot they are when it comes to weapon usage and all that, you know? Hello, Bat, can I see you? No, we're done here. And maybe that's a good thing, because this video's dragged on long enough, and yeah, I'm not keen on those. Oh, by the way, that, the 3-star Milo gave me that before, and I was quite disappointed, but I still wouldn't recommend using even the most powerful of bows here. We're almost getting 1k damage with it, but it's just no good. Just doesn't do anything properly. It doesn't do anything different that other weapons can't do better than itself already. So basically, hang it on a wall. It's a novelty item because that's basically the extent of what this thing can do for you.